There are two things, or let me say three things. There are three things that Jesus did in the Bible that no one did before Jesus. You need to go and check. Now for this, you might want to check Mark 7:32, and Matthew 9. I want to believe 32 as well. Maybe you can show. Not so sure, but you can show, and let's see. You can show Mark 7, you can show whatever. Now, Jesus was the first person in the Bible to make the dumb speak. Nobody did that miracle before. Jesus was the first person in the Bible to make the deaf hear. Nobody ever did that miracle in the Bible. So deaf and dumb, healing of deaf and dumb, Jesus was the first person to do it. Jesus was also the first person in the Bible to open blind eyes. Nobody ever opened blind eyes in the Bible. Now, there are about 11 instances of people raised from the dead in the Bible, but Jesus was the first person in the Bible to raise someone from the dead after 4 days. And the reason why he waited for 4 days was because, remember I said in John 10 that this death of Lazarus was for the glory of God. The reason why he waited for 4 days was because the Pharisees believed in the resurrection, and they believed that you can raise somebody back to life. But after 3 days, that person has passed and can never come back anymore. So Jesus waited for 4 days and went to the tomb of Lazarus. Going there, Mary and Martha came to him and said, Master, if you had been here earlier, this guy wouldn't have died. Jesus said, do you believe? If you believe, you will see the glory of God. He said, I believe. Do you believe your brother will rise again? She said, yes, I believe he will rise again on the resurrection day. Jesus said, no, you're getting it wrong. Resurrection is not an event, it's a person. I am the resurrection and the life. And he proved it. Jesus, they show workings. Jesus called a dead man, and the man heard his voice. He didn't just hear his voice. What he said was powerful enough to make him stand. In other words, he was saying that in the twinkling of an eye, with the blast of the trumpet, that trumpet is his voice. You remember when he says, I know my sheep and my sheep know me. We are still a sheep in death. So on that resurrection day, just the way he said Lazarus comfort, that's the way he will call all the saints. So in that resurrection, you find his revelation. So the earthly miracles of Jesus was to point us to the realities, the heaven realities that he possesses, or he claims to possess. Jesus should not talk about think about this. Jesus said, I will raise you from the dead, and he didn't raise Lazarus. You won't believe now. Why did Jesus open blind eyes? Because he was going to open spiritually blind eyes. Why did he open deaf ears? Because he was going to open spiritually deaf ears. Why did he make the dumb speak? Because he will give us utterance when we come into the commonwealth of God. So the miracles of Jesus were earthly tokens for spiritual realities. The person must believe in the miracles of Jesus. Still with me?
Thank you for watching. I believe you have learned. Please do us a favor by clicking on the subscription button so that you get notified whenever we publish deep spiritual content just like this one you have just watched. And also, try in your best capacity to implement all that you have just heard. That you be doer of the word and not just a hearer of the words. Thank you and God bless you. See you in our next video.